and thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the opportunity to take you through the Andover story. Originally, Andover Project was the Andover Nickel Project, nickel-copper-cobalt sulphides. We've identified 2 deposits, and they're in the pre-feasibility study stage at the moment. More recently, we've identified that there is a significant opportunity for a large-scale lithium resources there, and that's what we've switched a lot of focus onto the lithium exploration. Project's located in the northwest part of Western Australia in the Pilbara region. So it's iron ore mining territory just to the south of us with Rio Tinto's operations. Just to the north of us, we've got Chevron and Woodside with their oil and gas. Town of Karratha there. All the potential infrastructure that you could possibly need to build a mining operation is right there. It's definitely a tier 1 location. And the mineral resources that I show there is for the nickel, 6 million tonnes at just under 1.5% nickel equivalent. Those nickel resources are, as I say, undergoing pre-feasibility study as we speak. But the main story at the moment is all about the lithium story. This is an outline of the project area. It's around about 108 square kilometres, shown outlined there in blue. The identification of the pegmatites started about a bit over a year ago. We've now identified over 700 outcropping pegmatites. They contained within an area that's a wedge, a triangle, around about 9 kilometres long and maybe up to 5 kilometres wide on the eastern side. Individual pegmatites outcrop at surface for over 1.5 kilometres long, 100 to 200 metres wide at surface. So there's significant size to these pegmatites. And we have identified through our surface sampling lots of very high-grade lithium at surface as spodumene. So this is these rock chip samples we've collected at surface are some of the highest grade rock chip samples that have been taken at any time in Western Australia's lithium exploration history. So we're currently drilling. We're currently drilling in this area, just in the northern section there, outlined in white. We're currently focused on that because it's the only place within that red triangle for which we have environmental and heritage approvals to go drilling. Those approvals were specifically for a nickel target. Fortunately, there's some good-looking pegmatites right next door to that as well. So we are continuing with the exploration there. The heritage surveys and the environmental surveys for which we need approvals to go drilling, and there's other targets, have been completed in some of the areas, and we are now awaiting those approvals to come through formally. But we do expect that they should be coming to us within the next couple of weeks, and we'll be able to expand the drilling program out much further than where we currently are. So in that area where we're currently drilling, we've got 2 diamond drill rigs going at the moment. We've completed, as we speak at this time, around about 12 holes for about 4,000 metres of diamond drilling. The first 4 or 5 holes are shown there as those blue lines on that cross section. We have been hitting pegmatites in each of the drill holes, and within those pegmatites we're visually identifying spodumene within those pegmatites. So it is a potentially lithium-rich pegmatites. Assays are still awaited, and as usual, and that's been ongoing for a while, the laboratories are taking quite a long time. We were promised 4 to 6 weeks. It's now looking like it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks to be getting our lithium assays back. But meanwhile, we are still drilling with those 2 diamond rigs going, and we have now expanded the drilling further to the right-hand side of that cross section, or further to the south, and we've been able to collar some of those holes, those drill holes, actually on top of the outcropping pegmatites. So we are being able to, in more recent holes, be drilling through pegmatite mineralisation from surface down to whatever final depth we're going to, which is at this stage is around about 200 metres below surface. So that exploration is ongoing, and this is just a quick snapshot of what some of the holes look like. On the right-hand side, there's a hole called AND 199. We drilled this late last year in order to test a nickel target. Unfortunately, the nickel target didn't turn out with much in it, but there was a really nice looking pegmatite that was intersected within that. And within that pegmatite, we got just over 7 metres of 1.5% lithium. So good grade, reasonable width, not bad for a hole which accidentally hit that mineralisation. So we are now our current drilling is a few hundred metres away from this area. And as I say, we are hitting a lot of visible mineralisation. And on the left-hand side, the photograph on the left is a piece of drill core for hole 202. And you're looking at the white crystals there. That's your spodumene, that's your lithium-rich mineralisation inside a grey quartz background. And so that's typical of the mineralisation that we're seeing. Now that one photo on the left-hand side, we don't yet have assays for that, but one would expect to visually identify that much spodumene within the drill core that there's a realistic expectation that the lithium grades are going to be quite high. So Azure is actually pushing this forward as quickly as we can. And I might just jump in there and say that we're doing this with the assistance and the financial support of SQM. SQM is the world's second largest lithium producer. It's a Chilean company which has moved into Australia. It's a 50-50 joint venture with Wesfarmers building the Mount Holland lithium mine, processing facility and a lithium refinery south of Perth as well. They have come on board as a 20% shareholder of Azure by contributing $20 million. And it's those funds which are enabling us to accelerate our drilling as quickly as we can. So we have a 40,000 metre drill program underway now. The first 4,000 metres of diamond drilling are behind us, and we're continuing with the two diamond drill rigs. As soon as we get the heritage and environmental approvals, we'll be moving RC rigs out to the program. So one would expect that by the middle of this year, we'll have 4 to 6 drill rigs operating, and we'll be testing those many different high priority targets we've identified there that have got this high grade lithium at surface. The important thing that I guess it's not an exploration target that you see up there, but this is the strategic objective that I have set for our exploration crew. Demonstrate to me before the end of this year that this project at Andover has the potential to host more than 100 million tonnes of lithium resources. If they can demonstrate that they've got that potential is real, and if they can demonstrate through additional drilling we can get to the resource stage that we do have 100 million tonnes of lithium resources, then this would put the Andover project into the top 10 in the world in terms of size. SQM did not invest $20 million into us to find a 10 or 15 million tonne resource. They invested that money into us because they foresee the potential for this project to be in the top 10 in the world in terms of size. And just a quick snapshot on the nickel side of things, which is the reason we actually bought into this project to start with. We've got 200 diamond drill holes being completed. We've identified 2 deposits. We've got just around about 6 million tonnes of nickel and copper and cobalt resources there for about 100,000 tonnes of contained metal. Work is still continuing on that project, and as we go forward, we will continue to grow the nickel side of the Andover story. But where we are for the project going forward, on the objectives for this year, as you can see, it's to drill on the lithium. Let's get 4 to 6 rigs out there, drill as fast as we can, identify that we can confirm that we have that potential for plus 100 million tonnes, drill it out to the mineral resource stage, and then just kick this one on as absolutely as fast as we can. And on the nickel side of things, it is much the same, continuing to drill, expand the resources, and move into the next stage of the various studies. And just quickly, finally, on the corporate side of things, about 390 million shares, so market cap's about $150 million at the moment. As you can see on the major shareholder table there, we're SQM at 19.99% on the project, and a number of other groups in there as well. So the projects and the company is very well supported. And I would just say thank you very much for that opportunity to tell you the story. It is one that is really growing very quickly, and I expect that later this year that we're going to have, or throughout the rest of this year, we're going to have a lot of very important news flow being released. Thank you.
Just was hoping, I know the lithium is very exciting, but I was hoping you could talk a little bit about the nickel and what your expectations on both cost and production are.
Yeah, no, we're completing, just about to complete the scoping study and moving into the PFS stage. We've not published any numbers on the costs, either operating or capital at this stage, so I can't really comment on that, other than to say that if it's not a positive outcome, we would not, at the scoping study level, we wouldn't be moving into the PFS stage.
Just to clarify as well, I was actually hoping you could talk a little bit about the price of lithium on spot. Nickel on spot level as well. Nickel
price has been quite in quite a reasonable range over this year, $22,000 to $26,000 a tonne for US for quite some months in a row. But we know that nickel's very erratic and volatile, and it always will be going forward in the longer term. It is what it is. We will keep, at this stage, at the current prices, the project looks, good, but we shall see what happens in the future.